Good day, everybody. My name is Todd Standing. I'm the man who takes people out into the field and has them either live interact with or eyewitness a Sasquatch. One of my favorite shows today. This is what really excites people about Sasquatch. We're going to talk about how enormous Bigfoot is. This is Throwback Thursday. We're doing a throwback video, but this is all about the enormity and the power of Sasquatch, how they're so massive and strong. And really, you got to understand, people that know this species is real or are very convinced of the evidence. This is one of the primary reasons I think that, just based on like superheroes and power and speed and agility, the mass and the size of Bigfoot is so hard to believe that on the other side of the coin you have these people that are so skeptical. Primatologists say, my God, there cannot be something that big and powerful out there. But there is, and today we're going to talk about that and show some of the evidence of it. Stay tuned, we're going to have a great show today. For the past 10 years, I've been conducting expeditions, documenting chronicles, and interviewing people pertaining to the subject of Sasquatch. With over 20 years worth of hardcore backcountry expedition experience into the most remote regions, I've tracked and studied various North American species that have had little to no exposure to civilization. I am a student of many disciplines, trained in the art of tracking by a Cree Nation's elder and a military sniper. My skill sets include camouflage techniques using the terrain and its features to mask ground movement, survival, evasion, and escape techniques.
I've been able to see for the first time some complete segments of Todd Standing's filming of Sasquatches, and I'm firmly convinced that he has filmed Sasquatches and that what he has portrayed in his documentary are indeed very close portraits, in fact, of the Sasquatch face.
So it is Throwback Thursday, and the video we're going to get into today is where I compared the size of the Sasquatch's head to mine. What happened, what inspired me for this video is, and there's the haters and just ridiculous stupidity people have been showing, morphing my head into the head of a Sasquatch. So I found a picture of Andre the Giant with Stephanie McMahon when she was a little girl, and I'll take her head and morph it into Andre the Giant, and it fits perfectly. All this time, Stephanie McMahon was actually Andre the Giant, and we didn't know it. That's how preposterous it is to morph my head into a Sasquatch. No, let me rephrase. It's more preposterous, because Sasquatch is significantly larger in comparison. The comparison from Andre the Giant to Stephanie McMahon is such a huge leap. Like, the Sasquatch's head is like, you know, my head was what, like 6 inches across, 7 inches, and the Sasquatch was over double, like 14, and the enormity of them. So after this video, we're going to talk about some stuff that is just very exciting. So first, we'll show how big this is my Jake Sasquatch. This is the only, as of discovering Bigfoot, my movie, this is the only video that I ever actually planned. And the plan worked out exactly, well, not exactly, but it worked out just as I had wanted it to work out. I walked up through, I hiked in a few days through a creek, through a canyon, and followed that creek, didn't leave any tracks. The wind gauge was in my favor, the weather was in my favor, everything worked out, which almost never happens. And then I was able to get perfectly into position with 20 other secrets that me and my team have to get in there, so the Sasquatch wasn't aware of us, and we got this footage. I think it's one of my favorite pieces of footage of mine. I have 8 videos, but now, as of this year too, in the next documentary coming out, there's, well, I guess the California Sasquatch that I filmed was quite purposeful. I mean, it was by design. And then there's one other video I have. So the Sasquatch, the California Sasquatch, that'll be a documentary of its own with that video. That was, I nailed that one. And then there's 3 videos that I got just last year in 2019. One was purposeful, and the other one, and what I mean by purposeful was, that was the plan. I put a camera here, I hid in this spot, and I was hoping the Sasquatch would pop his head up, and he did. So I got that piece of footage. So, you know, and other times I'll be planning to film a Sasquatch over here, and it's a particular Sasquatch I'm looking for. It's a young male, and back behind me, it's a big male over there that I get footage of. And it was completely not what I had planned in any way, shape, or form. Or even there was no plan for one particular video. I mean, video 6, where I get the log thrown at me, all the plan had been going on for days and days, and I'd completely, utterly failed. Completely failed. And what it ended up giving me the success of video 6 was the Sasquatch were upset that I was invasive and I was messing with them during the winter time. And as I was leaving, like literally 2 days to leave, and there was one more day for me to get out still. On day 2 leaving, they just literally saw me there and walked right up to me and kicked snow on me and said, "Wake up, boy." And then, you know, I followed them and filmed them. So that was completely unplanned, just happened by absolute, well, not by fluke. I was messing with them. They know that I'm out there for them. I mean, remember, in every situation, without exception, it's the Sasquatch that are in charge. The Sasquatch, you know, are out there. I'm the mouse, they're the cat. That's just the way it is. So let's enjoy this Throwback Thursday video, and we'll talk about something, since we're getting into how big Sasquatch are. We're going to talk about the power and the size and everything that just makes it so hard to believe that the species exists right after the video. In 2006, my team and I publicly showed 2 separate crystal clear Bigfoot videos I personally filmed, which we used to petition the Canadian government for species protection of Bigfoot. The petition was certified and tabled in the Canadian House of Commons. The media response was enormous, with hundreds of newspaper, television networks, radio stations, and websites that receptively presented our work across the globe. It was our goal to reach out to the masses about why our group was beginning the struggle for species recognition and protection. Hello, my name is Todd Standing. I'm out here in the Rocky Mountains, where I live, where I do all my wilderness research, all my wilderness study of various species, and I've actually videotaped, and where I take people out into the wilderness and show them and have them live interact with Sasquatch. So I'm out here just to go through something very interesting that in one of my Sasquatch videos that's quite famous, my video 5, it's been challenged that my head has been ridiculously superimposed into the Sasquatch's head that I filmed, which blew my mind, because you can take Andre the Giant's head and superimpose it into a baby's head and it'll match perfectly. You can move the parameters. I mean, this is obvious to anybody who knows anything about photographs. You can make it wider, taller, 200% large, 50% large, it's all the same. What you can't do, though, here in the Canadian Rocky Mountains is, this is a Rocky Mountain Douglas fir. They're everywhere. They're in the Sasquatch video. And as you can see, this Douglas fir, this little itty bitty Douglas fir, the pine needles, here's my little tape measure, that's 1 inch, are not even 1 inch long, less than 3/4 inch. This is about a 4 foot tall conifer. This one being 8 feet, ironically enough, you'll have to, there again is 1 inch, and there's the needle, less than 1 inch. So these tiny trees, again, Rocky Mountain Douglas fir needles, are less than 1 inch. This over 100 foot tall Rocky Mountain Douglas fir, give me a moment to go grab a pine needle. Pine needle leaf from over 100 foot tall Rocky Mountain Douglas fir. And as you can see, the 100 foot tree, just like the 8 foot tall tree, just like the 4 foot tree, all the pine needles, dead or alive, are less than 1 inch. Now, when we measure the proportions of this less than 1 inch pine needle of a Rocky Mountain Douglas fir, which is filmed right beside that Sasquatch, you are going to understand vividly, clearly why I found this morphing of my head into this giant, enormous Sasquatch absolutely laughable. So let's go through that right now. Here we are at the diagram of the morphing head that my head was morphed into. Something good that could come out of this is I do have to say that I've been pushed into doing an analysis of this head, and here we are with that analysis. So you can see in the top area by a pine needle, I have a little blue marker, and that blue marker is that pine needle is approximately 3/4 of an inch, Rocky Mountain pine needle, as I've discussed. And you'll see up there's a little blue thing that's going to be approximately 1 inch. And then when you move down to the Sasquatch head, so I took that 1 inch and kept it at the same angle, and you can see that there with the red. So the red is just that angle brought down to the Sasquatch head. Then the yellow, which is straightened out, is just, I took that precise size and I just straightened it out so we could use it as a measurement. And then the green, what you'll notice is I've decreased the size by 10%, because the pine needle is significantly in front of the Sasquatch's head that you see there. So the gentleman who actually had that lens, there's a big long story behind the whole lens of it that I smashed and took me a year to pay for, but that knew the exact parameters of that lens, analyzed this footage and told me that approximately 10 to 15, that Sasquatch, if you took that Rocky Mountain Douglas fir needle and pushed it back to where the Sasquatch head is, you should decrease the size by, he said, 10 to 15%. So to err on the side of conservative, I've decreased it by just 10%, and that's what the little green marker is. And then you can see the green markers that go all the way across. You'll notice that there are 14 of them. 14 1-inch green markers. That Sasquatch was enormous, in case you were wondering. He was absolutely gigantic. You'll see there that his nose alone is 3 inches wide, which is just totally amazing. The separation between his eyes is approximately 8 inches, and as you can see in this photograph of me, I've measured the width of my head, just using me as an example, because I don't want to give any credence to the what do I even call him? The idiot that morphed my head into a Sasquatch. When I looked at this footage, it made me laugh. The shot is obviously handheld. It's clearly not on a tripod. If I wasn't filming, who was? And the answer is, I was. Nobody else has ever been that far out with me. Ever. Not even Survivor Man. It's in the hell middle of nowhere. So, I mean, and then it blew my mind to see that this Sasquatch, who I saw live in person, I was there looking at him, was over 700 pounds. I have his height measured at 8'6", because after I had filmed him and I came out of my position, he moved off and I saw him go under a branch of a tree. As I went past that branch, he didn't duck. His head nearly touched that branch. I reached up as high as I could reach, and his head had gone under that, so I knew he was approximately that tall. And width, he was enormous. He was a Sasquatch. He was Gigantopithecus. He was absolutely enormous. To put my little itty bitty 240-pound body in with his is absolutely asinine and ridiculous. I apologize, but I just don't know what else to say. So I hope you enjoyed that throwback video. Just absolutely laughable to try to morph any human being's head into that Sasquatch's head into Jake's head. He was just absolutely so huge. Now you must understand. So these are some facts about Sasquatch. These are facts. People know this. You talk to Jeff Meldrum and all the footage that I've got and the eyewitness accountings. The foot is only 17 inches, and they're only approximately 9 feet tall. So I'm 6'3", barefooted. Put some shoes on me, 6'4", put some boots on me, 6'5". So if a Sasquatch is, let's say, 9'4", and I think that's how big some of them are, that's pretty crazy big. But those are my numbers. They're only 3 feet taller than me. So they're not that big, are they? It's only 3 feet. That's only 1/3 taller than me. Problem is, they weigh 900 pounds. I'm a tracker. I see the foot indentations. The stride lengths are impressive. The power of something. And why do we say 900 pounds? How do we have those deductions? They're just so darn thick. They're just so darn wide. And really, as a tracker, I just can't not. It's crazy. Like when I say 900 pounds, my God, like I see a bear that's 800 pounds walking on 4 feet. And just the simple math of what a Sasquatch will do, I'm telling you, it's simple logic. A good-sized grizzly bear, I've seen the trackway for this. A good-sized grizzly bear out where I live in the Rocky Mountains, we call them grizzlies. They don't have salmon, so they get to be, let's say, one in particular. I know definitively 600 pounds. The biologist told me that. We agree 600 pounds. So I see a 600-pound bear walking around on 4 feet. So you divide that by 4. So I see this bear's track, and I see his trackway running from a Sasquatch. I see a Sasquatch give him a little run, and I'm looking at the marks. Can barely see the bear's footprint in this substrate, and the Sasquatch's footprint was deep and hard and heavy. Not only significantly heavier, you know, I'm seeing over double the impression size, and considering his foot is twice the size, and I know he only has 2 feet that he's walking on, the bear has 4, but double the impression with a double the foot size. What's happening is they gotta be weighing up 900 pounds, guys. And all the scientists and all the people, there are scientists involved in doing this. There are great men and women that are really putting their numbers together. 900 pounds, you gotta be kidding me. When I took a primatologist out to do an expedition with me, this is before my documentary, just before I released it in 2017, and she looked at video 6 of that Sasquatch, clocked over 9 feet tall, clearly. You can see me in the movie, I'm putting my hand up, and you can see my hand is like 8'6" is where my hand goes, and the Sasquatch's head's above that. That guy is like 9 foot plus. And she's like, they just can't be that big. And you know what's scarier is they're that powerful. I've seen them break trees that just defy any kind of logic. I mean, they must be smashing over trees that have 2-3 foot bases. There must be a whole troop of them there, but even that, like how many men would it take without any sort of technology to bust over a tree with a 2-foot base? The whole town could show up with ropes. I don't know if it could happen. Just the power that I've seen in these guys, it's clear to me. I have to bite my tongue. Like these men that we have, like these strong men, it's insane the power that a strong man has. What do these strong men weigh? I'd say around 300 pounds. So the Sasquatch is 3 times their size. And I'll tell you something, a chimpanzee that weighs 220 pounds. You've seen those muscular chimpanzees that look up, they're all thick and dominant. They're not 300 pounds, and they will rip that man apart. That's primate strength. It's crazy. They climb trees like monsters. They have incredible primate power. Then you go to the most powerful ape in the world, gorillas, bar none, champions, silverbacks. I'm literally looking and calculating and seeing things in the biology that show me the Sasquatch, the leg power, the strength to do the tree breaks that I've seen, the rocks that I've seen them throw. Guys, we're talking like literally over double the strength of a gorilla, which almost mathematically makes sense because you're talking about a 900-pound primate versus a 400-pound primate, which is what a gorilla weighs in at. But you guys know gorillas. They are powerful, amazing, stunningly powerful men in this world. I give them all the credit in the world. I've spent a lot of time in the gym. I admire the powerlifters, the crazy, insane weights that they do on drugs, most of them, right? I mean, let's be honest, the drugs are out there. But man, the primate, insane power that a Sasquatch has. I show it to people and I almost feel like a fool going, yeah, they're that strong. And they go, can't be that strong. Like we're looking at tree breaks from trees that are, 4 inches thick. And a gorilla couldn't do that. A gorilla wouldn't even have close to that kind of power. And the Sasquatch are making clean tree breaks, ripping boulders out of the ground, just tearing them right out like they were nothing. I saw a boulder that I estimated at like 1,200 pounds, just tossed like a little nothing. So it's fearfully impressive. The speed, the power that they can move at. Sasquatch are such a tremendously important discovery. And another thing that I've learned too about biology is cold weather power. The primatologist that came out with me, she told me, you know, everybody's impressed with gorilla strength and chimpanzee strength, especially gorillas. She actually, her name was Susan. I'm going to say her name for the first time. And she had tons of experience working with primates. She was a Canadian. She was going to do a Discovery Channel show with me. She went back to Discovery Channel and she said, there's no damn way that there's a primate out there like that. She said, he's got to have DNA. I came back with DNA and they still said freaking no. So I was like, just kiss my butt. You guys can't show integrity, whatever. But her fear was, when she was realizing I was showing her tracks, I was acting like, she called me, I was just like the trackers that that guided her in Africa. She was getting pretty impressed with what I was showing her, with the tracks and the tree breaks and the evidence. And then she told me about, she actually got scared away, literally, I think it was more by bears. Because she's like, gorilla, a 400-pound gorilla versus a 400-pound black bear the black bears are immensely more powerful. We got to give respect to our cold weather species here in North America, because cold weather creates this slow twitch, fast twitch muscle fibers that are very dense to generate heat and stay warm, but they become very, very powerful. So she's telling me that a 400-pound black bear is much stronger than a gorilla because of its cold weather muscle. I'm looking at Sasquatch, and everything I see in the biology, everything I see in the evidence is showing me they are cold weather power, which would take them up at a level, oh my God. Can you imagine if they were triple the strength? And these are very debatable issues. There's no science. There's not solid science behind this whatsoever. But it's so exciting to think, because cold weather primates are stronger. The muscle tissue, or there are very few cold weather primates, but cold weather species are much stronger. They have to be. It's a biological fact. And I am so excited. And all the people that know about Sasquatch and all the people that know the evidence is there, and even those people that are, a lot of people out there going, well, I'm not quite convinced, but it's a pretty interesting topic. Man, you put an X-Men out here. You put like Wolverine, he's gonna get his freaking skeleton ripped and torn and beaten. Like, these primates are unreal, spectacularly powerful, and I just shake my head showing Survivor Man, an episode of Survivor Man, where they've pushed over huge, thick trees, and you know, the tree breaks and the tracks that we look in the ground. Survivor Man looking at me in an episode going, could that be a bear? Well, it's clearly not a bear. And he just had a quick look and said, maybe it's a bear. And then he looks at it and he realizes a bear doesn't have the power. They're just so much more soft-footed. Even if they're running, they don't pound the ground like that. Like, we're looking at a really hard piece of earth that's smashed. And that is not only a Sasquatch by its weight, but the leg strength that would do that. Most of the tracks that I show people on expeditions, it convinces them so profoundly that it just can't be faked. Not just the spacing between the footprints, but the power it takes to do that. You would literally have to be out there with a sledgehammer bashing this earth around and shaping it, and it's just not going to happen. So that immensity of the leg strength, I'm telling you, the strongest man in the world, the strongest gorilla leg in the world would be shattered by the power that the Sasquatch have in their quadriceps. So it's a pretty awesome, fantastic, amazing discovery. And I hope you people that are interested or quite doubting it, I hope you can really understand, if you could just take a moment and think about the passion that we knowers, the people that have seen them, the people that have really looked at the evidence and went, gosh darn, like, it's just got to be real. And there's a lot of us. There's PhDs out there. There's a lot of people that really know this discovery. The evidence is hella overwhelming. And the more I look at it, it's not, when you talk about the possibility of Sasquatch and, you know, that they're a pretty impressive species, this is very impressive. This is like unbelievable, hard to ever explain. And it's right off the chart, guys. They are that fantastic, that amazing. I'm scared to show people. I go and show them a busted over tree and I go, a Sasquatch did that. And they go, there's just no way. You couldn't pull that over. You'd need like a D9. You'd need like some insane amount of power bulldozer to bash that over. And they do it. It's just crazy. So respect to those people who just, to even that PhD who quit on me that expedition, going, there's just no damn way. It's so extreme. And that's why they have trouble believing, because it really is. They are that amazing. The more you look at them, the more I study them, the more I interact with them, and the more I see what they're capable of. Intelligent, power, strength, spirituality, sentience. It's at the end of the day, when this discovery comes out, it's going to be all those things that go, oh my God. We are going to go, holy crap, no wonder the discovery was never made. They are that amazing. That's why to this day, we don't have a body, and the evidence isn't, well, it's overwhelming, but I mean, you know, I'm not showing up with a Sasquatch here anytime soon, because they're just that spectacular. They're just that absolutely amazing. And you can trust me, because I've taken out the best in the world. Les Stroud, John Bennernagel, you know, Jeff Meldrum. Who's next? Put that down in the comments. Who else do I have to take out and show a Sasquatch to before people will start really going, I think he's on to something. I think after he showed, you know, 14 people last year, actually eyewitnessed a Sasquatch with him, maybe he's on to something. Because I did that with Jeff Meldrum. And John Bennernagel live interacted. And Les Stroud got a photograph of the top of the head of a Sasquatch. And live interact with a Sasquatch on every episode, only 3 days at a time. And expeditioners are coming up for 7 days. And they're seeing them and live interacting with them and being blown away by evidence. This is what's happening right now, right here. And there are half a dozen, maybe dozens of other people out there all over, especially in the United States. Man, are they getting results out there. I'm just blown away by the success that people are having. I spend all day, thanks to donators, thanks to expeditioners, thanks to watching my YouTube channel. All you people, I'm a full-time Sasquatch research. Deep heartfelt gratitude for that. I talk to people about Sasquatch all day, and I'm just absolutely blown away and astounded by all the great forward progress moving towards this discovery. Thank you very much. There'll be a Sasquatch Sunday video. Watch me Wednesdays live. I love the Wednesdays live, man. We get raw, we get brutal, we get down to grassroots. We fearlessly hit the hardest questions. It's a great time on the Wednesday live show. My name is Todd Standing, and stay tuned for more stuff. Thanks for tuning in.